welcome to Halloween Town YouTube collaboration. Thank you to our hosts, Monica from Up All Night DIY and Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling. I am so excited to be here. I am Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art, and I'm going to turn you guys around and we're going to get started. So, I am an acrylic painter. I love to paint. I've been painting about 17 years. And we're going to get started. I'm combining two of my favorite things to paint, which is flowers and Halloween. I have out a variety of paint colors here, and I've sketched on. You can get the tracer by putting tracer in the comments, and I've sketched on a vase, one little statement flower here, and I put a line for the tabletop. I'm just going to pick up some brown and black, and I'm going to start it with the bottom, and I'm just using my brush and dipping in the brown and my black, and I just want to mark off this spot for my table. Okay, I use my brush on my chisel edge when I want my lines. I use my chisel edge when I want to mark off the spot I'm painting. Otherwise, I use my brush on the flat when I want to fill in big areas. And this is just going to be some faux wood. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this tan too as we go. And I think for right now, I'm going to paint my edges. And that's it. I'm only going up as far as what I'm considering this tabletop on the bottom here. I may end up going back in and making that a little lighter. We shall see. But for now, we're going to just let that dry. I'm not going to wash my brush. I am just going to wipe it off on the rag that I have here. And I'm going to turn my painting upside down. Now I'm going to go into my tan and my brown. And I'm going to start putting in some vertical lines. I want my background up here to look like faux wood. So I'm picking up tan, in this case it's fawn, and the brown, and I'm making all my lines vertical. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in some, I guess, black lines to make it look like it's wood paneled faux wood in the background. You don't want to overblend these colors. I'm picking up the brown and this fawn on my brush. If my wood starts to get a little too dark, I'll just pick up some fawn. You want your paint to be wet on your surface so it all blends. And I work one way to blend, and then I go back and work the other way. Pick up some more fawn. And down here, I'm going to use my brush on the chisel edge. I want a nice straight line there, but then I'm going to come back over these lines so my brush strokes are all vertical. That'll give us a more realistic faux wood background. Ha! Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to get in here. So when I have to fit in the nooks and crannies, I will do my brush however I have to. But then, when it comes back to painting my background, I will then fix my brush strokes so that all of them are going vertical. I picked up a little bit of white now because I felt like my background was getting a little dark. Even though it's Halloween, I want my design to stand out, so I don't want my background extremely dark. So I just picked up a little white. And it's faux wood, really. It could be any combination of colors that you want. So I'm just going to come in here with my brush while I'm using it and paint my edges. I'm still picking up the brown and the fawn or the tan color. Oh, got a little black there, that's okay. If you don't want to paint your edges, if you want to wait till later to paint your edges, if you want to just leave them, totally up to you. It's your art. You can leave them if you like. Okay. I'm not totally worried about the background above my vase, because that is all going to be filled in with the design. So it's not like you're going to be like, oh, I messed that up there. No, don't even worry about it. It's the background, and it's called the background because it's in the background. Once we start painting in all our really cool Halloween elements and our florals, you're not going to be able to even see what's back there. I'm just making sure that I have really good coverage. Okay? So there we go. So I'm going to put that in the water, and I'm going to get my liner brush. Now you can use a ruler for this if you want. I'm not going to. I'm going to use my liner brush. I'm going to use my liner brush. I twist it in the paint because I want to get a point. And I'm going to use very light pressure, and I'm going to start pulling in some lines as straight as I can, thick and thin, to make this faux wood background and make it look like this is where the wood panels meet. If you wanted to use a ruler or tape them off, you could. I rarely use a ruler, but it's your art, your way. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of black and then add that in here. Not too much. Okay, and then I'm actually going to do the same thing with the white. And again, a lot of these lines you're not even going to see, but they need to be back there. Okay, I'm going to go into my white. Just a tiny bit. I hope you enjoy this playlist. All the links are in my description. I love doing these collabs. There's so much talent out there. Now that I look, this one up here got a little dark, so I'm going to come back in here. I mean, got a little light, I'm going to lighten it up. And then I'm actually going to do some down here. I have the brown and the white on my brush. And there we go. And that is it. I'm going to go back to that brush I was using. Where is it? Here it is. And I'm going to rinse it off. Okay. Now I'm going to paint in my vase. And I want my vase to be like a dark gray. So I'm going to pick up some white and a little bit of black. I'm going to come to my surface. Now we work from the background out. This way we can fix as we do our layers on our painting. So now I can come back in here, I can start painting in my vase, and so if any of my background lines are a little quirky, I'm going to fix them now with my vase. And we're just base coating in a little bit of black. I'm going to add a little bit of black shading to this side and blend it in. Same thing with the bottom. I'm just pulling up, I have my dirty brush, and I'm just pulling up some of the black, making the bottom of the vase a little bit darker. Okay? And that's it for now. Let me wash my brush. think I want a different brush. Look at this one. Okay, I'm going to go to my orange. I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure to my brush. I want my fibers to flare out. I want to get my fibers in my brush to get nicely loaded with paint. And I'm going to base coat in our main flower here in this bright orange. I'm going to do each petal separate. And this is just, again, like I said, a base coat. I'm going to come back here with some other colors and some details. It's okay if I pick up a little bit of that gray and black. It's just adding a little shading into my orange, and I am okay with that. Okay, so now we have our main flower in there. And I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to get my liner brush out. Now, because this is a Halloween painting, I'm going to use my black. I'm going to roll it into my black paint. And I'm going to start adding in some fillers. I'm just pulling out these little stems, 5 of them. Okay? Then on the top of each stem, I'm going to put in some spiders. So first we have a little spider body. And it's okay if some of your elements end up going off the page. You can make your little spider bodies more round. You can make them more oval. Totally up to you. And these are just the back part of the fillers. Okay. And then I'm going to add in my spider legs. I'm just putting in these little sideways L's for our spider legs with my liner brush. Giving a little bit of fang up there. So one out and one down, one out and one down, one out and one down. And the same thing on the other side. And then little fangs. Again, quite a bit of this. These are background, these are fillers. Some of this is going to be covered up. But you need it back there. It makes your art much more interesting. We like to layer and add some fun elements. Okay? I think I might add a couple of little smaller ones out to the sides. And it's okay that they're all different sizes, a little bit of shape. This is hand painting. We're not using a stencil, although there's nothing wrong with that, and I use stencils in a lot of my artwork. Okay, so we have our spiders in there. I'm going to take the back of my brush, I'm going to dot it in And I'm going to add eyes to my spiders. I use the back of my brush so my dots are uniform, but they're all different sizes because as you run out of paint, they get smaller. Okay? I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to go back to my original flower. I'm going to pick up the orange and I'm going to add in a second coat on my orange. Oranges and yellows tend to be a little translucent, and if you don't get good coverage, you want to come back in here with this second coat. A lot of times I add white to my orange or my yellow, but I want my orange to be really vibrant, so I'll just come back and do 2 coats. Okay? Then I'm not even going to wash my dress. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to make a circle for the center of my flower. Okay? Okay. I'm going to go back to my flat brush. This is about a, not quite ½ inch, it's bigger than a ¼ inch. Flat brush, a little bit smaller than my pointer. This is a number 10 in plaid, but brush sizes are not uniform. So what would be a 10 in a plaid is not the same in a Princeton or a artist loft. So you can't go by numbers, you have to go by sizes. So I'm going to have the purple here. I added a little bit of white to it. I'm loading my brush up. I'm going to get a nice chisel edge on my brush. And I'm going to add in some stems. Sorry if you hear my cat. And then maybe one down there. Okay? I'm going to load my brush up with paint again. And now I'm going to just add in some of these filler leaves. I'm just taking my little flat brush. I'm holding it up on the chisel edge and I'm giving it a little squash. As I come on an angle into the stem. Pick up some paint. I'm just squishing my brush to the canvas. Making these background filler leaves. I'm going to, I think white. I think I'm going to get some white. So I'm going to roll my liner brush into the white. And now I'm going to add in these little stems here. 1, 2, 3. That might be enough. And now maybe you can see what I'm going to put at the top of these stems. So right now I'm just adding in these little white triangles. Okay. I'm going to pick up some orange. I'm not even going to wash my brush. I'm going to pick up some orange. I'm just going to add a little bit of orange across the middles. Sorry. Again, we might need 2 coats for this. I'm going to wipe off my brush. And now I'm going to do the bottoms. We're just doing in some fillers with some candy corn. Might even add a little bit of candy corn to the bottom on our tabletop next to our vase. Just putting in a second coat here of the orange. So there we have our candy corn. Starting to look cute, huh? Okay, while we let those dry, I'm going to come back to my black, and I'm going to add in a few of these little lines for segments for our vase. We just want to give it a little bit more detail. That one got a little wonky, so I'm just going to mix up a little bit of gray and come in here and fix that. With acrylic paint, you can fix anything. So if there's something there that you don't love, don't worry about it. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my black. I'm going to fix this line and fix this line again. And then add a little bit of a line out here and to our bottom. Now I'm just going to get a little bit of white and not cover up the whole line, but just add a little bit of white to it. Make highlights on our vase, okay? Now with my black, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add black to one side of all my petals on my big statement flower. Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush. And then I'm going to come back in here with the white and add a highlight, almost like a grayish. It's not bright white because I have some black in there, to the other side of my flower. Okay. Now I want to take some of this white and I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight to the tips of the purple filler leaves in the backgrounds. I'm using a very light touch. I'm putting like a little bit of a maybe comma stroke or apostrophe, depending on which way it goes. Just to the tips of all these little purple filler leaves in the background. Have them pop a little bit. Then I'm going to get a little bit of orange. I'm not even cleaning my brush. And I want to add just a little bit of orange to the stems of my candy corn. Okay? I'm going to wash that line of brush. Let me put down here I'm going to base coat down here a few little more candy corns that maybe are on the table, they fell, they were eating them. Who's into candy corn? Yay or nay? And I'll just let those dry for a minute. I'm going to pick up some orange. In this case, I'm using the spiced pumpkin. And I'm going to add in a few more fillers. So there's 3. Put one there, that's 4. And then put one there, that's 5. Okay? And now these are going to be more of like a little branch, so I'm using my liner brush. These are fillers again, but this time I'm using my liner brush to make my leaves on either side. They come in like a V. To the stem. And they just go all the way back. You can line them up, or you can stagger them. The important thing is that they're on an angle, and they get bigger as you get closer to the stem, and longer. And you work your way back on the diagonal in this V shape all the way to where your stem started. Okay. You might need one more here. Just a little one. I hope you guys enjoyed this playlist. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow the rest of the awesome talented artists on this playlist. Give them a subscribe too. And if you could share this playlist out to your friends, that would be awesome. Okay. Wash my brush. Oh, gotta finish our candy corn down here. Let me get the orange again. I'm gonna use the bright orange this time. So I have a bright orange and I have a spiced pumpkin orange. I'm using the bright orange for my candy corn, but I'm using the spiced pumpkin orange for everything else. If you just have the one orange, that is totally okay. Wipe off my brush, go into my yellow, and at the bottom section of my candy corn. Base coating your candy corn in in white rather, serves two purposes. You get the white part done, and also it helps with your orange and your yellow, because remember I said how orange and yellow can be really translucent. This way, you now have a back coat, a base coat, to do your orange and your yellow for your candy corn. Okay. Alright, and then last but not least, I'm going to get a pouncer. This one looks good, maybe. Yeah. I'm going to put it in my white. I'm going to pounce it off a little bit. And I'm going to come in here. Put it in my white, pounce it off a little bit. Put it in my white, pounce it off a little bit. Three, and put another set up here, 4, and maybe one down here. That needs a little bit more. 5. Okay, now watch. I'm going to take the back of my brush. I'm going to dip it in the black paint. And I'm going to add in these sets of eyes here for our artwork. Isn't this so fun? I want to add a little bit, just a little bit of black shading like we did to our purple leaves with the white, but now I'm doing it with black to the orange leaves. Just a little bit of some shading up there on the top of the leaves. It's like a little bit of an apostrophe or a comma, depending on which way your leaf is going. I'm just tapping it up there. And these ones out on the side. I'm doing it at the top of every leaf. If you want to do it at the bottom, you can. Okay? I'm going to take the back of my brush and my white, and I'm going to dip in the center. I'm going to go into my purple, and I'm going to dip in the center of my big statement flower here. Okay. Then I'm going to go into my white with my liner brush. And I'm going to add little white dots in the center of my black for my eyes. And there we go. Put that in there. There we go. So, isn't this so cool, you guys? So fun. So fun. Thank you to Monica from Up All Night DIY and Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling. I hope you guys enjoyed this playlist. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and watch the rest of the playlist and hit the subscribe button for the rest of them too. Such talented group of people in this playlist for this Halloween Town YouTube collab. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.